Hello, hello. Do, 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 do. My lips are dry. Chopstick. Sorry, guys. I was out doing grocery shopping today, so inside grocery stores and stuff like that, and it's kind of chilly in Canada. I almost said Ontario. I'm not in Ontario anymore. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting real close. Just setting up my camera. It was on the top one was on the wrong angle. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta check in on something. I have to check in on my celestial outlook for today. We are looking at, let me scroll through. You should see, it's just a text document. It's so boring. It's like Sun, arrow, January 19th into Capricorn, arrow, February 16th into, and so it just tracks it out. And I did that by scrolling through the living sky. We're going to do a check-in. We're going to check in on the energy of the collective, and hi, Lindy. And then we are going to check in on the celestial alignments for the week. So how to work with the energy of the week that's coming. And that's using true Sidereal. So you can verify anything that I'm saying if you go to the skylive.com or Stellarium or any other planetary apps like that. So I will check on the living sky, and we'll see how we're going to process through with that energy. I'm looking for it. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So we know right now that we have, if I look at where are we here? We're May 14th. So on May 14th, the sun went into Taurus. Okay. So I'm just going to sun in Taurus. Okay. So we got our, nope, that's not that. Sorry. I'm looking for my notes on it. How did I save it? Okay, and we have our sun in Taurus. Currently we have, where are we in? April, May. All right, so we are currently May 17th. So the sun is in, the moon is in Taurus, because we've just had our new moon, right? So our moon is in Taurus, sun is in Taurus. Then our moon is going to move into Gemini, and then Cancer, and then let's see, where does our week end? Where does our week end? So the 23rd, from the 17th to the 23rd. So yeah, Leo. It'll end on the 22nd on Leo, and then on the 24th on, okay, Virgo on the 24th. Okay, so we'll go through all of that. I'm just going to check that right there. And we'll put there. Okay. Now, when we look at Mercury, we're at the 13th. We're past the 13th of April. So that means that we are looking at Mercury in Pisces. No, we're not in April. We're not even in April, guys. I was looking in April. Holy, it is May. It's May. And not even that, it's after the middle of May. So it's May 14th, which means that Mercury is also in Taurus. We've got a lot of Taurus energy today. And on June 1st, it goes into Gemini. So it's just in Taurus for us right now for Mercury. Mercury in Taurus. Mercury in Taurus. Let's see, where's Venus sitting now? All right, Venus, we're looking at, I'm just scrolling through the planet and checking on each of the planets and seeing where they transition through the month, through this next week. And then I'm going to check in on the energy, and then we'll talk more about this placement stuff, okay? And what we need to do with the energies of it. All right, so we have Venus. We are in May, guys. I remember now. We're in May. So Venus is also in Taurus. Venus is in Taurus since April 18th. Okay, so we've got it in Taurus. Oh, I didn't spell Venus right. That's not going to help me. All right, let's look at that. Then we have Mars, and Mars on the 18th goes into Aries. On the 19th, sorry, we have to capture that. On the 19th, it goes into Mars. Venus goes into Gemini. Hello, guys. How are you? How are you? All right. So there, and then Mars, we had Mars. No, Mars is May 18th goes into Aries, so it's in Pisces, and then on May 18th, it goes into Aries. Okay, so we captured that correctly. I'm doing well. How are you? So are you from Calgary? Cheer. Hello. All right, so then we have Jupiter is in Gemini. Okay. We have Jupiter. Nice. I'm not too far. I'm not in Edmonton, but like I'm south, but I'm not in Red Deer either. I'm out in the country. I'm actually like around Pigeon Lake, if you know that area. Okay, so we have Jupiter. What did I say? Jupiter is in Gemini. And then we have we have all the rest of them. We don't need to get into all the bigger ones. Okay, they get it. That is the planetary stuff, and we'll look at that later. We've looked at that. We look at that consistently enough. We don't need to be consulting in that Pluto's in Capricorn or Neptune is in Pisces or Uranus is in Taurus, and also that Saturn is in Pisces, right? So we can make note of those, but they don't have as much interference with our day-to-day lives. Like we're not affected by those energies individually. We're affected by those energies more collectively. So it's more important for us to focus on the lower ones. So when I mean the lower ones, the ones that would be closer to the sun, so to speak. So Venus, Mars, all of those. So those are the ones that affect us more energetically. Okay. When we're looking at the planets. Okay, let me get my keyboard out of the way now that I have put my notes down. I've written down where all the planets are, so I don't have to search through that again. Sorry, I typically have that prepared beforehand, but I was delinquent today. I went shopping and it's a long weekend in Canada, so, I have long weekend brain. I did think at one point about not doing the live because, sometimes you got to take a day off. And, but I decided to do it anyway. So here we are. We're going to have fun. We're going to hang out. We're going to check in on the energy of the collective, and maybe there'll be a free card or two. I don't know. We'll see. And by me, if it's a free card, it's a free card for an individual. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I also make my own tarot and oracle decks, so I will be using my own tarot and oracle decks. And the tarot that I use is called the Ethereal Tarot, which will one day be available for purchase, but just not yet. So right now it's an exclusive. And it's called the Ethereal Tarot because it includes the fifth element, the ether element. So there's an additional whole suit of cards in it, and also the cosmic key. So it's an expanded tarot deck. Otherwise, it operates the same as another tarot deck in that it has the same exact structure, and the cards are the same, only it has my own personal flair to how the cards are written. All right, so let's see what the energy is for the collective. So just remember, when these cards come out, they may give you a message and they may not. And that's because I'm looking at the collective energy. So it could be, you notice this in the collective though. You might be like, yeah, I see my friends are doing that. Or yeah, I sense that energy collectively as well. Okay, so you'll see the energy coming up, but differently. Cards are falling. There's a couple of cards down there. and we'll see how this collective energy is, and we'll see where you sit within the collective energy. So yeah. And you'll see, I think that the way that it ends up showing up is that there's a lot of people who, we can see there's almost like different realities. And that's true, because I have my own personal reality. You have your own personal reality. And collectively, we have a collective reality. And it's our collective belief systems that create that reality. So let's see what all came out with the cards. I have to pick some up off the floor. So hang on a second.
We have a few down here, guys.
Well, there's one on that side too. Wow. Okay. Collectively, you'll see how this works. You'll see how this works. Okay. All right. Let's deal with our upside down ones first. And then we'll transition through those ones, okay? And we'll see how, this is good. All right. I also have to make sure I do one more thing. Well, two things. One thing. I'm streaming on multiple channels right now. So I'm streaming on 2 TikTok channels, and then I'm streaming on 2 YouTubes and a Facebook. Okay, so the YouTube and Facebook are up there, and the 2 TikToks are down here. So my one channel is Anshara'El, and then my other channel is Sharia and Lorian. So you can follow me on either channel. I do post different things on those channels, but I do try to share them back and forth as well. But they were created so that I also had a backup channel in case I got banned, because on Anshara'El, I almost I got a warning. And so I was like, I better create another channel just in case. And so I try to behave a little bit, just a teeny, not all the way. Gen X, spectrum, we don't behave. We try, but we just, we blaze new paths, exactly what we're meant to do, right? We're meant to wake up and to create the new, right? Because things aren't, the way things are working, this is not working, right? We can't just passively lie down as the world gets destroyed. We can't just that's not the way that we're meant to do this. Okay, let's see what our upside down cards are. And this is about I almost accepted an invite. That would have been not fun. I don't know what we would have done in the invite. But let's talk about the cards that are in the inverted, and we'll talk about, we've got a couple of cards in the water. So let's do the 3 and 4 of water first. Okay. So the 3 of water, when we have it in the inverted position, it can be speaking to isolation, right? For a long time, a lot of us have had our groups of family and friends. We've had, the people that we associate with. But for a while now, things have changed, right? We've seen things change in the atmosphere. Like, I'm Canadian, but we watched things change drastically in the US with the politics, right? And how people became very hard stanced against each other, so much so that they were like divorcing partners and, ending relationships with their family members and so on and so forth. So pura vida. Buenas noches. I remembered not to say buenos dias. It's nighttime. It's just not daytime right now. How are you doing? I'm so happy you could tune in, Morichi. That is very warm, but I do need to turn my heater on so it doesn't get cold. Okay, so this is, a lot of us have distanced ourselves though. And as a lot of us are going through our healing or awakening journey, we tend to distance ourselves from previous people. We change and we don't associate with the same groups that we used to associate with. So we are seeing this, and some of us are isolating ourselves on purpose. Like, I can't be out there talking to all of these people. I can't be interacting with these people. Right. That could be a part of what this card is speaking to. It can be talking about a lack of connection. And I think a lot of us are. There's a lot of us that are on our awakening journey that are seeking someone that understands what it's all about or understands the process. And if you're looking for that, you can come and hang out at the Temple of Light, come and hang out in the Embodied Leadership Circle. They're groups that I have. The Temple of Light is completely free. So go hang out in it. Find your collective, find the group that resonates with you so that you have your people, because when you're waking up to the truth about things and you're starting to learn the truth about you, that can be very lonely. And the same thing goes for when you're on your healing journey, right? It's nice to know that you're not alone, that you're not the only person that experienced those types of traumas. We can talk about them all. I've experienced many, many. My brother and I had a joke about how we narrowly lived through our childhoods. Like we got out alive was the key there. So I can talk about a bunch of different things. Right? Like even, so anyway, this isolation, you want to find your group, you want to find your collective. And that's what the Three of Waters, it typically is talking about, is our collective, our soul family. So when it's inverted, it can mean that we don't have that yet. We haven't found it. So there is this feeling of being left out that can be happening as well. Some of us feel like we're left out because we're not at the same space as other people are in their spiritual journey or in their healing journey. So we get trapped in this comparison thing. Like I'm, and so you think that you're not where you should be, or there's something blocking you, or there's something wrong with you, because why can't you hear your spirit guides, or why can't you, channel, or why can't whatever. So there can be that's coming out. There's also the difficulty of trusting others. And with all of the ways that we've been lied to and manipulated, and as you continue to go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole, right, when you start to really research the truth, when you really want to know, that can be put you in a point where you really do have difficulty trusting others. And when we look at what's going on politically, collectively around the world, I mean, why would we trust anything up there? Right? Like, all right. So I thought, nope, I was like, wait a second. I was picking that card up. That one has to stay down there. It's not ready yet. Is this one that I wanted, was the Four of Water. So the Four of Water had ended up in the inverted position as well. So like I said, you may find yourself in this space where you're feeling isolated. You may find yourself collectively in this space. And what the Four of Water is talking about when it's in the reversed is that we start to have awareness. We start to have this emotional renewal, where we've maybe decided to take that time and actually heal and allow ourselves to understand our emotions. We're seizing opportunities now. We are opening up to new perspectives and breaking free from stagnation. So you see how you could be in the one side where you're isolated, but you could also be in the other side where you're starting to learn your emotions better. Maybe you're becoming a nervous system, you're becoming really, really invested in your nervous system being regulated, right? Which will do amazing things for you. And if you need help with that, we should talk. Okay, so we've got those energies. We also have the King of Earth in the shadow or reverse position. And when he's in the reverse, this is where we have greed, and we've got financial mismanagement, and we've got materialism, and we have rigidity and neglecting emotional connections for material gain. We see this in society. We see this all over the place. And definitely when you get to the higher up, like politically, for sure. And that's regardless of it's all a show. It's all a show, right? So when we're looking at this, that there is a lot of that, and some of us are feeling it. We're feeling the financial instability is a lot of what we're experiencing from that. So that may be something that you're experiencing as well, collectively, but that's the collective energy. All right, we have the High Priestess in the shadow or reversed position. I almost flipped it over again. That won't help me. When it's in the reverse, there's this disconnection from intuition. There's suppressed knowledge, which we've had the knowledge suppressed for a long time. Like when we look at what's happening, with people who disappear or, stuff like that, there's this disconnection, right? There's this suppression of knowledge, especially, I mean, I can't even talk about the things that we can't talk about because we can't talk about them. We can't. So there's confusion that's out in society. There is this ignoring your inner guidance. And that's because we weren't taught to access it anyway. Mostly we were taught to ignore our bodies in favor of our mind. And we don't necessarily connect with our body all the time. If you've experienced trauma, you probably, there's a potential that you have dissociation, which means you're not connecting to your body fully. Hi, Midlight Purple. I wanted to say hi before I forgot. And hello. So there's hidden truths that are yet to be revealed. That's also coming up when we see that a high priestess in the reversed position, right? It's also telling us that there's still hidden truths to be revealed. And we know that disclosure isn't over, right? Like collectively, this is the energy for collectively. I'm just being a messenger. So this is time for us to seek our inner knowing and seek wisdom within, right? So this is connecting back to our bodies is what we need to do, because your body is going to allow you to discern what the truth is in situations. All right. We also have the Emperor in the shadow position. So what does the Emperor in the shadow position mean? Well, when he's reversed, this can be talking about rigidity, control issues, resistance to change, imbalance of power. And there very much is, right? We see that collectively. There's this imbalance of power. We are seeing that there's like this lack of discipline for many people. It definitely happens. I see it through all of my work that I've done with people over the years, right? You are only going to heal as much as you're willing to allow yourself. And it's only dependent upon how much work you're willing to put in, right? If you see a therapist and the therapist gives you breath work or gives you journal prompts or, teaches you mindfulness or gives you like all kinds of things to do, and you don't do any of them, then you're probably not going to do the healing that you want to heal, right? Because you're not investing in it. And so you get what you put in. It's just the way that it is. So there's this lack of discipline that's happening, and there is. We're not seeing, and we're, even if we look at that, not from the sense of lack of discipline, and I don't have the discipline to say work out every day, right? I'm not talking just about that lack of discipline. We're also talking about lack of discipline if we take that discipline term and look at it as in punishment or as in people being held accountable. We don't see that lack of discipline is happening. And when we're looking at the emperor, he is integrity, right? There's definitely discipline that exists with that, right? So true power is not about dominance. It's about mastery, it's about vision, and it's about the courage to create a lasting legacy. So that energy we are seeing, right? We're seeing that the emperor is in the shadow, is in the reverse, or is inverted, right? That's our inverted energy. All right. We have the Eight of Water, and the Eight of Water was also in the shadow position. And when we look at the Eight of Water in the shadow, it is talking about fear of change and resisting necessary endings, staying in unfulfilling situations, and the fear of the unknown. And many of us struggle with that. Like it's ingrained in us because we're taught that to fear the unknown, to fear the change. Like we're literally taught that. That's like, there's so many sayings that incorporate that in that, right? But our nervous system is trained in whatever environment it's trained in, and that becomes its normal environment until you teach it something different. So if your nervous system was raised in an environment that was chaotic, it's going to want some element of chaos within its environment to feel normal. And until it moves through that, it's going to seek those out. So you have to treat that. You have to show that safety. You have to show that being still is safe, that, being silent is safe, that, that's what you have to train your nervous system to. So the 8 of water is reminding you that growth needs movement. And sometimes that means walking away from the familiar, from the things that, but they're not aligned, right? We've just been staying with them because it's consistent. Thank you for coming over here and sharing some love, Marie. All right. We also have the 2 of air coming out. Now the 2 of air, when it's upright, it's about the crossroads of thought. So it's where you're really at a crossroads of like, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I go here? Do I go there? Like, what do I do? What do I do? So we get into this indecision space, right? Where we may be, and we may be receiving mental clarity. We may be weighing options, but we could also be avoiding the truth, right? So we stay in that spot of, I don't know what decision to make, because we just are avoiding the truth of what the situation is. And so the 2 of air just reminds you that clarity comes from stillness. So do not fear the unknown, embrace it with trust, and the way forward will reveal itself. Okay. So that's what that 2 of air is. So that may be something that you're experiencing, but you could be on this side. You could be on this side. There are many of us out there that are doing the work. We're putting in the work every day, where, we are mastering ourselves, we're refining ourselves, we are, in the progress is appearing through effort, because we're showing up, we're embodying it. So this is the card of refinement and mastery, and what it tells you is that, true success is built through dedication and patience and continual refinement. It's built through a variety of through time, right? And whether you're learning a new skill or deepening an expertise, your effort will be rewarded, right? It's just about staying committed and trust that every small step is contributing to your goal. And it does in ways that you don't even understand, right? We never understand until we look back at it and we go, oh, so that's what that was for, huh? Interesting. All right. So the other people on this side who are experiencing this, they've got some significant mental clarity, because that's what the king of air, I was going to say king of earth. The king of air is all about. He's the master of wisdom. He has mastery over his thoughts. There's strong leadership with good communication. This is truth seeking. Right? This is where we're looking at that higher wisdom. There's integrity and objectivity. So this side is a much different side. It's like, this is a nervous system that's stable. This is an individual that is walking their path, and it's unfolding before them, and they're being wise about it. They're refining. They're on their ascension. And they have the Queen of Ether. And the Queen of Ether, she's divine wisdom. This is the divine luminary. It is heightened intuition. It's multidimensional mastery. It's celestial guidance and profound spiritual leadership. Like the Queen of Ether, like that's the spiritual queen. Like, that's very, very intuitive energy. It's beautiful. So this is the group that's working on it, right? That's doing the evolution. Like they know that they came here and they're like, I'm going to evolve this time. I'm ascendant. I'm getting out of here. I'm not coming back. Kidding. So the Queen of Ether is a beacon of celestial love and divine illumination. She is here to remind you that you are a sovereign being of light, and that you are fully capable of accessing infinite wisdom and guiding others through light and wisdom. So this group might even be the leaders of others, right, that are going to help them on their journey. How do you think about that? Who's in which category? Which cards did you reflect with the most? Hi guys, how are you? All right, we're going to check in on the other cards because I like them because they give you a little bit of instruction. And then we are going to talk about a couple of things and we'll see where we go. We'll see where we go, but we're going to check on the celestial alignment for the week and and we'll talk about something else. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have from these cards. Okay, we got 2 right there. Let's anything else. So these cards, I'm going to be directly towards the people that are watching. Okay, so this is more like information for you. Okay, we're just going to go with the 2 of them then. Let's see what we got. The first one is the listening heart. Okay, so the listening heart, the affirmation is, I listen deeply to myself and others. Remembrance. Listening creates accuracy. It reduces projection and improves connection. Being heard begins with being present. Your practice is in a conversation, do not interrupt. 2, reflect back 1 sentence. And 3, ask 1 clarifying question. Most times in conversations, we are listening to respond. We are not actually listening just to hear. And that's sometimes why we interrupt. Some of us, like ADHD, like there's whatever. But at the end, there is some of it where it's just, you just got to do better. You just got to try harder. There is no try. There is only do or do not, right? But do. Just do it. All right. The other card that came out is the teacher within. Affirmation, wisdom lives within me. Well, the only one that would say that anymore would be the Queen of Ether. The wisdom lives within me. The remembrance, external input supports, but does not replace inner knowing. Your system organizes truth when given space. First responses are often the clearest. Your practice is to ask 1 question, write the first answer, and do not edit it for 2 whole minutes. For 2 whole minutes. I appreciate you. Okay, so what do you want to learn a little something before we jump into the celestial, or just do the celestial? I just do the celestial and just get out. Bird just walked by on the deck. All right, let me think. It won't be a lot anyway. Okay, so let's check in on our celestial alignment. Let's see what we're going to do with the week and the energy that we are dealing with. As I went through and was saying what the alignments were, one of the things that came up a lot was Taurus. So we are in some very, very grounded energy right now. So what I want you to do is just, if you can imagine or sense into it, what's the difference, like how things felt a few weeks ago versus how they feel now, right? Like I think, when I think back into March, like early in March, I was very slow energy, like very, like I definitely wasn't hopping and ready to go, So, but now the energy, there's more go, and we did have good Aries energy, and now we're moving into Taurus. And you can, with Taurus, there's the refining. So the energy that we started with, and we started, doing our new stuff, or that energy that sparked movement. Now we're going to look at, well, what direction did it send us, and refining that, right? Because Taurus wants to ground it. So you can start to kind of feel more what's really kind of real, and your movement's going to start to increase, not just mentally, but actually in this coming week. So right now we have the sun in Taurus, we have Mercury in Taurus, Venus in Taurus for a little bit longer. And so there's this very strong Taurus energy. Plus, we have Uranus in Taurus. But like I said, we're not focusing so much on the outer planets. That's collective energy. I just want to talk about the closer planets today. I'll talk about them maybe next week. I'll loop them in every so often, but they're not the focus, right? The focus, we want to focus on how we're working with the energy collectively as we go. So there's this really strong emphasis right now on stability, on clarity, on reality, and on what can really actually hold, what really has foundation and structure. Because that's what Taurus does. It slows you down enough to look at everything and say, this has substance. This is what I can build from. And so Taurus isn't just about what's exciting in the moment. And that's a little bit of Aries energy, right? Aries has a very, let's go. I like that. Let's do it. That sounds fun. Okay. And so Aries can be very passion driven, which is a beautiful thing. But Aries has to ground into the body so that the body is directing it in, and telling it to go in the truthful direction and, with more clarity as opposed to going through the mind. Whereas Taurus starts to slow things down because Taurus, it's, this is your worth. This is, this is stability. Taurus likes comfort and luxury. So, those two things go nicely together. And it's not just what's exciting in the moment. Taurus wants something that's going to last. And that's a different energy. Hi. Okay. So our moon, this is the one where we see the transitions more frequently because the moon changes. If it's in Ophiuchus and Scorpio, it's just a little over a day. If it's in all the rest of them, it's anywhere from 2 to 3 days that each planet, it takes the moon to transit through each sign. And we start right now with the moon in Taurus, and then we move to Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and then it finishes the week in Virgo. So this is a very interesting sequence because we go from grounding from the Taurus energy into processing, which is what Gemini is going to have us doing, right? That's Gemini energy. And then we go into Cancer energy, which is feeling. And then we go into Leo energy, which is about expression. And then to Virgo, which is about refinement. So this week is not just about movement. It's about movement becoming more refined as the week goes. Because what happens is Taurus so Aries gives you the passionate idea. Aries is like, yes, let's do this. I love this. Let's do it. And Taurus says, okay, this part's good. This got structure. This has substance. And then Gemini goes, okay, let's get real smart about this. Let's figure this out. Let's, pros, cons, let's process it. Let's get all this stuff. And then you start to feel it. You start to feel into what you're creating. You start to nurture it. And then you start to express it more. And as you're expressing it, Leo is the authentic energy. And that is this is my stuff. And so then it passes it to Virgo that says, okay, well, if that's the truth, then let's refine it a little bit more. So it's interesting that after every fire energy that says, oh, I like this, or this aligns with me, there's the grounding or the earth energy that follows it that says, okay, but what of that is really, really solid? What is that is really going to last? And let's refine it a little bit more each time. So this week is not just about movement. It's about moving and refining as we go. So we want to let it unfold naturally, okay? Because we start the week very grounded. Things are going to feel a little bit slower, which is beautiful. In Canada, we have a long weekend. So allow that Sunday and Monday to just slow down, Taurus energy, comfort, and, enjoy yourself. Take things slowly, be more physical, right? You can be exercising out in the garden, stuff like that. and just be more real, because that's what Taurus is also asking us to be. And then you'll notice what is actually stabilizing about the things that you were passionate about a moment ago. Then we get Gemini, and Gemini comes in, and then the mind starts to speed up, and it starts to think more, and it starts to have conversations, and it starts to process more. And this is where sometimes, though, we can overcomplicate things. If we start overthinking it or second guessing ourselves, and, if we lack some trust in our decision making, this is where we can get into that space. So watch your anxiety, go back to your body, go back to soothing, because that's going to help you get back to being clear and bypass the overthinking. Then we go to the Cancer moon, where things become emotional. Like I said, you're in this feeling energy, and your things are more personal, and you feel what matters. So this is not just what makes sense logically, it's also what feels right. So that's why we want that Cancer energy. And then we go into the Leo moon, and now Leo moon's like, woo, we want visibility now. We want to express ourselves. There's confidence in what we are processing through and deciding that we have at this moment. There's creative movement, and there's this desire to be seen. And, because Leo is a showman, Leo is the sun, right? And once we pass through Leo, it goes to Virgo, and Virgo's like, let's refine this then. Well, if we seriously want to run a marathon, then how are we going to get there? That's Virgo's energy, right? What are we going to do? Let's adjust things. Let's correct things. What actually works, what needs improvement, and what needs simplifying. So that's what we're going to experience with that. So when we're looking at the next layer with the planets and where they are, we're looking at Mercury in Taurus, which is going to be keeping our thinking very practical. We're going to be slower with our thinking, more grounded. With Venus, it's moving into Gemini on the 19th. It's been in Taurus for a while. So once it moves into Gemini, that's when our relationships, our communication, our curiosity, and connection becomes way more active. And then Mars is going to be entering Aries on the 18th. And this is important. Mars has been in Pisces for a while. So with Mars in Pisces, our action is slower. It's like moving through kind of like mud, right? Like you're really slowed down. You're less direct. But once you get into Aries, which is Mars's home, right? It changes because momentum's back again. Aries is drive. Aries has impulse. It's energy, right? So this week may feel like things suddenly want to move again, and some things should, but not everything, right? Which is why we want to take our time. So the important thing about this week is going to be discernment, but discernment is always important. So if you're not aware of how to discern things, then connect, learn, search it, figure it out, right? But it's important to use discernment, and the discernment is honestly going to be felt through your body. It's not your mind, right? You feel the discernment. So not every impulse needs an action, and not every idea needs to be expanded. There are some things right now that are ready to move, but there are some things that aren't just yet. And you'll feel the difference as long as you connect to it. But you have to ground into it. And when you ground the movement, it feels different than that reactive movement. Okay. So the embodiment part of this is to ask yourself a couple of questions. That's what we do for embodiment practice on Sundays, is talk about how the energy is right now. So you can look at the week ahead, and it'll give you a little bit of insight. So in this, ask yourself, what in your life is really stable right now? Like, what feels stable in your life? Ask yourself what feels mentally overstimulated. Okay, so where are you mentally overstimulated? What feels true to you emotionally? Okay, not just mentally. What feels, not think true, what feels true to you emotionally? and what feels genuinely ready to move forward for you. Okay, what do you really feel that is at that moment that you can start to take action on it, or move forward in some capacity? And this is not in a pressured way. Okay, you shouldn't feel that pressured or that urgency, because if there's pressure or urgency, there's probably something that needs to be addressed underneath that. You just feel ready, and so you're going to move from that readiness. So if you're learning how to recognize these shifts in real time and move with them instead of against them, that's what we continue to do in the Temple of Light. So you can come and check it out there on my website. It's completely free, and the website's linked in my profile. Hi, Dee. How are you doing? I think it's been quite a while since I've seen you. Like quite a while. It's such a delicious tea. It's a delicious tea. I had an idea one time I wanted to create, because my name is Tanya. So my initial's T, and I wanted to make royal tea and have royal tea room. And it would serve like tea and like little sandwiches and stuff like that. And you'd have high tea on Sundays. I just thought it would be the perfect name. The whole idea. Royal tea room. Have you ever had any great ideas that you never took action on? Like, hello. I've had a few ideas that I had like a long time ago, and then I never did anything with it. And then you see it in the marketplace later on, and you're like, dang it, I really should have done something with that. But I think that, like when you look at it, creating patents and stuff like that, like that's like $5,000. Like you have to have money to make money, right? That's kind of part of it, I think, is what maybe. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. I wasn't meant to invest or to invent that particular thing or something like that, right? Okay. All righty. Well, I'm going to check in and see if there's anything else that I wanted to cover tonight. And if not, then we are going to have a shorter live, since you guys are being just too quiet. How are you doing, Dee? Hey, Chexie, how are you? How's Paco? It's such good tea. Good. Hi, temperamental tea. You could make a tea room. I don't think she stayed, but if she did, that would have been funny. Because we were just talking about that, and it was just funny. A royal tea room. What are you up to these days, Chexie? How are the butterflies, or not the butterflies, sorry. How are the hummingbirds? It's weird. I'll go through phases where I'll see your stuff come up, and maybe you're not posting a lot right now, but sometimes I'll see your stuff come up. And then other times I don't see it for nothing. I'm like, Chexie who? Right? It's just interesting the way that the algorithm is, right? Like, yeah, I have lots of birds, but they're not hummingbirds. Not yet anyway. I can have hummingbirds here. They're just I don't know if I don't have I don't think I have the stuff out here. Yeah, me neither. It's like you go through phases, and like it's funny because you don't see people that you follow for a really long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, you start seeing them, and they start, like, I went last year was so quiet. People weren't showing up at my lives. I didn't like it was weird. It was weird. It was a very quiet year. I don't know. Anyway. And yeah, now this this year I'm starting to see people again. and you know, so I don't know. It just is what it is. Yeah. Do you get in the States, do you have Victoria weekend Victoria Day this weekend, or do you guys celebrate Victoria Day? My conch show. I'm getting real close again. No? Okay. Yeah, that's what we have this weekend is we have our Victoria Day weekend. Look, I have I love rocks, but when they have fossils in them, they're even better. No. Well, we do in Canada. We have our long weekend this weekend. So I have a couple of them actually. Where's my other one? Oh, my other one's littler. It's just a little guy. Yeah, it's really cool. And then I have this one, which has like ridges on it. I don't know what it's from. Nope, that one. This one has one in it, but it's not out very far. Like how this one, it raised up. This one's kind of buried. I love collecting rocks, especially ones that have unique markings on them or fossils like that. That's really cool. I should go to the mountains. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would be awesome, guys. I have to go for a drive. One day when gas is real cheap, I'll go for a drive to the mountains and I'll take some pictures. And I'll look for some rocks and I'll collect some fossils and it'll be awesome. Oh, I know what I'll do. Oh my goodness. I have plans now, guys. It's spring. It's going to be warm. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to do things. I'm going to do things. And there's mountains and lakes and trees. You gotta love the outdoors. You really do. I mean, I think so anyway. All right. How's everyone doing? Who needs anything? What do you need? Hi, Pop. An avid indoorsman. I know you made your house really cool. So like, why not, right? It's got all my favorite things. And there's no people that I don't want in there. I'm called a recluse, but I'll go out in my yard. I don't mean you have to go, hey, Jer Bear, I don't have to go out in public. I don't have to go in public outdoors. I'm going private outdoors. It's less people-y there. But no, I forgot. Like I literally, it's like, you sometimes you just have to remind yourself. But I'm like, it's springtime, and then it's gonna get warmer and warmer and warmer. And I'm back in Alberta. I got the mountains, dudes. I forgot. I'm back in Alberta. I can go see the mountains if I have gas. I can go see the mountains. This is a short trip and $300 in gasoline. Maybe even more. I don't know. I know Jer has the hummingbirds too. I see his come up every now and then too. It's just phases, right? Sometimes, like I said, I think Jer Bear goes through the same thing. Sometimes he probably sees me a little more than he likes to. And then other times he's like, Tanya, who? Where'd she go? Haven't seen her content in years. Okay, months. Yeah, I love the hummingbirds. I planted a whole bunch of wildflowers today. Like I peppered the fields with them. I'm so excited. Yeah. What you doing, Jer Bear? Oh yeah, I hope I just if I see a hummingbird here, I'm gonna be so excited because I don't even know. I don't even know what would encourage them in I don't know. I'm never like I haven't lived in this area, right? Like I've never lived in this particular area of Alberta. Right? It's a transition. I'm flying by. Remember to have some time for you. Put your feet on the ground, quick. Feet on the ground. Lower your jaw. Lower your shoulders. Hand on your chest. Okay, continue. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. 3, 4 times. Yep. No, we were supposed to get rain and then it didn't rain. The rain just went around my place. It was kind of interesting. The sun just didn't want to stop shining. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go offline and I'm going to go get my compound bow and I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot some arrows. And yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to cook supper and I'm going to shoot off some arrows. That's what I'm going to go do. You have to be prepared. You never know what's coming. Right? I'm not doing too bad. I'm not doing too bad. I mean, I don't know if I would hit anything like alive. I don't know if I would ever do that, but all right. All right. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful night. Back on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain.